Hey, all my niggas scamming, all my niggas scamming. Big for them, all my
chicken and corn.
He wants something to eat.
Now that's Huggie Pacino certified.
What's going on, y'all? It's Huggie Pacino. So I ran across this article. I'm not really a political guy. I don't really believe in politics. I believe all presidents are the same. I believe they don't run shit. I don't think the country is ran by presidents. I think they're ran by quote-unquote banks. I think they're ran by the elite, the corporations. And pretty much that's how the country is operated. I think the country is controlled by Israel. We pay taxes to them, and every other country in between, such as Japan and the UK, where the Federal Reserve is located, things of that nature, they pretty much control how the country we live in, America, is operated. So I want that to be clear. This is just an interesting article I read here. What Republicans really mean when they call Jews disloyal, okay? Now, the thing about this article is there's a picture of President Benjamin Netanyahu, all right? Speaking before a group of Jewish Republicans in April. The president referred to Benjamin Netanyahu as your prime minister. And notice how they start off the article. Anti-Semitism, all right? It's really a wonder to behold because of how it manages to adapt to the time. Back in the good old days, the line that Jews couldn't be trusted because they were loyal to a foreign power. In 2019, we can't be trusted because we're disloyal to a foreign power. All right. That is the viewpoint Donald Trump decided to lay out this week on Tuesday while talking to reporters about Israel's decisions to bar. Goodness gracious. All these pop-ups, yo. I can't never get these pop-ups when I'm not making a video. Anyway, talking to reporters about Israel's decision to bar two Muslim American congressmen, Reps Rashida Tlaib? The fuck? Tlaib? I'm assuming. Let's just run with that. Ilhan Omar, I'm assuming the L's are silent. Forgive me. He said, I can't believe we're even having this conversation. Where has the Democratic Party gone? Where have they gone? Where they are defeating the two people over the state of Israel. I think any Jewish people that vote for Democrat, I think it shows either a lack of knowledge or great disloyalty. This is fucking nuts. At first, there was a bit of confusion over whether Trump was accusing Jewish Democrats of disloyalty to Israel or the United States. On Wednesday, he clarified, if you vote for Democrat, you're being disloyal to Jewish people, and if you're being very disloyal to Israel. All right? Trump said about 70% of Jews broke for Hillary Clinton in 2016. Listen, man, this is the propaganda thing that they have. Y'all really believing that these votes really mean shit and that the Republican and Democrats are really some type of help to many people. Like, none of this shit, this is propaganda at its finest. I'm just giving it to you because a lot of y'all do believe it, so why not do a video about it? Anyway, this is not the first time Trump voiced such sentiments. Though the past, he hasn't been quite so explicit. Speaking before a group of Jewish Republicans in April, the president referred to Benjamin Netanyahu, the leader of Israel, as your prime minister, as if he were talking to a room full of foreigners. Nor is Trump the first right-winger to suggest that Jewish Democrats are somehow selling out their kin. The conservative writer and vlogger Ben Shapiro once memorably tweeted that the Jewish people has always been plagued by bad news, who undermine it from within. In America, those bad Jews largely vote Democrat. Iowa Congressman Steve King told an interviewer, a few years back that he didn't understand how Jews in America can be Democrat first and Jewish second. We know Jewish people come first. This is why I tell people all the time, Jewish dad could be black all he want. Jewish ethnicity comes before race. That's why Drake is always taken care of. He's Jewish. His mom is Jewish. So period. We don't care about his black daddy from Memphis. We care about his Jewish bloodline. And it could be the mother or the father. That bloodline comes before anything. You feel me? I want y'all to ask yourself about Kaepernick. Y'all know his mom is Jewish, but y'all sitting up here playing, y'all using this dude as a black card, right? Come on, ask yourself why he wasn't wearing an afro before he started kneeling. Why he wasn't wearing braids and shit before he started kneeling. Dude had a clean cut. You know what I'm saying? And then what we want to do is we want to sit here and make it seem like, oh, he had a black girlfriend and she was on some empowerment, blah, 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 blah. This is all propaganda, yo. Kaepernick is a Jewish guy. Jewish bloodline. And don't ask me about the fact that his mom knows who his dad is and never even told him. You think his daddy ain't black? Continue. Where'd I leave off? In America, those bad Jews largely vote Democrat. A few years back that he didn't understand how Jews in America could be Democrat first and Jewish second. And in the wake of the president's comments on Tuesday, a number of supporters rushed back to back him up, from his friend and lawyer Rudy Giuliani, who seemed to think that the disloyalty charge was okay because Trump was talking about Israel, to popular conspiracy theorists Wayne Allen Root, a troubled pastor, and Greg Locke. All right, let's continue here. And you know the funny thing about a pastor being a conspiracy theorist, but he's a pastor. Like the funniest shit ever. Anyway, you may recall that in March, Omar landed in a raging controversy after she was caught on tape saying that Israel's backers were demanding allegiance to a foreign country. In response, conservatives and some liberals accused her of peddling what's now known as this dual loyalty smear. The old trope, is that the trope? Old trope that says Jews can't be trusted because of their treacherous foreign loyalties. All right. Many, myself included, thought that the outrage was unfair. You notice how they putting it underlined? Like, yeah, of course it is, huh? And in the light of the recent events, some progressives have now accused Trump and the Republicans of perpetuating the real dual loyalty smear. But in some sense, that's not quite right either. Conservatives have actually inverted the old label. Instead of accusing Jews of being overly loyal to a foreign nation, Trump has turned centuries of anti-Semitism on his head by accusing them of not being loyal enough to one. And his followers are happy to echo the charge, all right? How has this come to pass? One obvious part of the answer is Trump and the other conservatives are just parroting the sorts of things that they hear from Jewish Republicans who, let's be blunt, tend to see Israel's Jewish critics as a bunch of self-hating secularists who brought in the leftist anti-Semitism. Not all of them are quite as far right about their feelings as Shapiro, who charmingly likes to dismiss his opponents as Jews in name only. But the sentiment that liberal Jews are bad Jews is real, and Republicans outside the tribe have clearly picked up on it. Y'all gotta forgive me. I believe in doing one take only. Let's run with it. But pro-Zionist and anti-Zionist Jews have been lobbying accusations of self-hatred and abetting anti-Semitism at one another quite literally since Zionism was born. It's an old story. What we're seeing now is also a result of a recent shift in America's political alignment. This is a joke. while there have been always been critics of Israel on the left that they use to be a rock solid bipartisan consensus and Jewish state among mainstream Washington politicians, so that accusing Jewish Democrats of disloyalty for merely voting for Democrats would have made a drop of sense. This is the thing. So they're basically trying to make Jewish people that are voting for Democrats feel like they're disloyal based on a system of Democrats who's supposed to be. This is a joke. Those 71% of Jews who voted for Hillary were voting for a very pro-Israel candidate. But in recent years, that consensus has begun to crack, in part because of tension between Netanyahu and the Obama administration, a turn supporting Bibi at the very least into a more partisan issue. Plenty of Democrats like Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer are still old-line liberal Zionists, but outside of this top leadership in Congress, the party and its voters as a whole have become less unconditionally supportive of Israel and more tolerant of radical, critical voices like Omar and Talib. I hope I'm saying that name right. Republicans, on the other hand, have become monomanically obsessed with Israel and its security. To many conservatives today, the Jewish state is not just an important ally, it is our most important ally. National defense hawks, rightly or wrongly, see it as our bulwark against, bulwark against Iranian aggressions in the Middle East. Islamophobes see it as part of the struggle over civilization itself. And an entire generation of evangelist Christian Zionists like Locke believe that Israel is a part of a divine plan, God's instruments on earth. And to almost all of them, supporting Israel in part means supporting Netanyahu's conservative Logitech government. The devotion is so strong that in 2015 Bloomberg poll, 67% of Republicans said that they believe that Israel is an important ally, the only democracy in the region. We should support it even if our interests is diverge. Nobody would say that about Great Britain. When you mix in Trump's personal affinity for the Jewish state, Israel literally names a settlement after him. You reach the absurd yet logical conclusion of contemporary U.S.-Israel politics. Prominent non-Jewish Republicans now feel free to censure American Jews for being insufficiently supportive of another country. They've divided us into camps of good Jews and bad Jews. So what happens to the bad ones? This is a fucking joke. That's what makes this whole thing so worrisome. It's not that Trump and his buddies are reviving the old dual loyalty smear. Exactly. It's not simply that. It's that they're treating Jews as an other whose politics can only be judged in relation to foreign nations who are not really completely American, though that's worrisome too. It's frightening because when conservatives say that the Jews who vote for Democrat are disloyal to Israel, they are implying that they are disloyal to their own ethnic interests, American interests, and even the Almighty's. It's the 2019 version of calling liberals Jews a bunch of heretics. And we all know what happens to heretics in the end. The problem with this thing is that we're now using Jewish people as a part of an agenda of Democrats and Republicans, and basically meaning that if you're Jewish, right, that basically the fact that you should be a part of, quote unquote, a more of an ethnicity, and meaning that if this has something to do with, quote unquote, God's plan or God's land, Holy Land, then the Republican and Democrats should never be a choice of yours. So they're disloyal whether they pick or not. The fact that they actually wrote an article about it to actually try to make sense of this is the most propagandist thing I've ever seen in my life. Then you have some black people who will consider themselves the real Jews. They'll try to debunk all of this nonsense. That's up for y'all though. It ain't for me. Anyway, tell me what y'all think. I'm out.
I live for this shit.
Why you used to have vision, boy?